Hi everyone. Thank you guys for coming out to celebrate 250 years at the American table. Tonight, Nicolle from Slopeside Tavern, she is going to be our guide this evening. And so without further ado, Miss Nicolle.
So when Kylee first asked me to had this idea of the social house, I said, wow, that's a really cool idea. There's nothing like that up here. I mean, we have events here and there. She said, I want you to do a hospitality, a food portion for the plateau. Okay. In July. Okay. And as you can tell, the traffic coming here, it wasn't too bad, but I think this is a perfect time to reflect and say, it's really awesome where we live, and it's awesome. I run a restaurant, and these people are creating memories and bringing their kids here every 4th of July, and they get excited and say, I want to come to Slopeside Tavern. So a little about myself. My name is Nicolle Fogarty. I moved here about 15 years ago from Orlando, Florida. This is an opportunity that if I've never met you before, or you do know me, not many people know about me. So I always get to meet everybody else that comes into my restaurant, and I'll get to meet your kids and your pets, only dogs that are allowed in. But I started working in restaurants when I was 15. I worked for Darden Restaurants, and if you're not familiar with Darden, Red Lobster, Olive Garden, Bahama Breeze, and they had a new concept called Smoky Bones. I was 15 years old, and I saw this big sign that said Smoky Bones. I said, I want to be a hostess there. So that was my first job in hospitality, and it takes a crazy type of person to be in this industry for sure. There's long hours, you miss holidays, you miss birthdays, you miss family, but I wouldn't change it for anything. I get to meet so many people, a lot of people that have come into the restaurant and become my family. So if you've never been there before, you're more than welcome, and please join me at my restaurant, which is my home away from home. Tonight's about food and celebration of food, and through different eras that we're celebrating 250 years. I started, if you read the magazine that I was featured in, I fell in love with cooking. I'm gonna get emotional now. Holidays were huge in my family. You know, I was in the kitchen next to my mom and making stuffing and Thanksgiving turkey, and I have 3 sisters, and every single birthday and holiday was based around food and drinks and celebration. And that's always been a huge part of my life. So that is who I am. And so we're gonna start this evening. If you don't know why you're here, so we are doing a taste through 5 eras, 5 bites. So it's broken down. Each bite is going to tell a story. So the first bite is the founding table. So this is a timeline of what we're going to experience this evening. So the founding table is 1770 through 1820. And then each era we're going to break down, and you're going to have a tasting. So I have some lovely assistants that are going to pass out tastings. And our first is the founding table, which is a cornbread. These girls are going to be passing around. So the cornbread, Native Americans introduced cornbread to, is why we are experiencing the cornbread. And on top of the cornbread, one of the first social house events, if you were not able to attend it, was Kevin Rowland, and he is from Tiny Trail Farm and Gardens, which is right here in Cashel. So that is local honey that's drizzled on top of the cornbread. So like I said, Native Americans introduced European settlers to corn, and it was so easy to grow and less expensive than wheat, is why corn and cornbread became very popular. I know people probably have different variations of how they make their cornbread. This is a very simple cornbread. A little fun fact about cornbread is soldiers in the Revolutionary War used to, because you could dry out the cornbread, and they would used to carry it in their pockets as rations. So it would last a long time. And you know, when Kylie asked me to do this, I love to cook and I love to eat. I'm not a huge history buff, to be honest with you. So a lot of this I'm gonna wing, but you're not gonna know that. So I did a lot of education. It's really cool to know the history behind what you're eating and why you're eating it and how it came about. And that's what when I started doing some research and some homework and learning about the different things and a lot of the food that I even serve at the restaurant and how it came to be. So that hopefully you can leave here either with ideas to make on your own or now you're educated a little bit. So that's gonna be this evening's. And then we're gonna end with a toast, which is always exciting. So if my girls are ready, we're just gonna keep it flowing since this is an hour. This is the growing nation, so 1820s to 1880s. And this is when the enslaved Africans brought their cooking techniques and ingredients that really shaped Southern food. And a good majority of places around here serve a lot of Southern food, Southern influence. And so I do a lot of catering and I love to make crostinis because it's the perfect little bite. So this next tasting, it's a black-eyed pea relish that I made and it's served on a little crostini. So you can kind of get creative and I switched up and made it with pickled okra and it didn't go too well and I didn't want to serve you something that I didn't care for, so we did switch it up. Because you should always taste, even if you're entertaining at home, always taste what you're going to serve before you serve it. So I had a table, I was walking around the restaurant last night and I had a table ask me if I was nervous for today. And how can you be nervous because you deal with people on a regular basis? And when I was in school, I went to the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale and I got a degree in photography, but you still take other classes while you're there. And I took a public speaking class and you're in with the students, so it's okay. But so they asked me last night when I stopped at, how's your meal? How is everything? Great. We can't make it tomorrow. Are you nervous? Yeah, I really am. But you talk to people every day. I'm like, yeah, but there is just something different when you're standing in front of a room and all eyes on you. And they said, well, the husband, just imagine you standing behind your bar. You know, you can talk to the whole restaurant standing behind the bar. That's a great idea. So I've kind of been envisioning a big bar right here. The wife had another idea of making me less nervous, but don't worry, I'm not envisioning you all naked. So I have the bar in front of me right now. I went to his recommendation. But it is still, and I know, I don't know all of you in here, and I hope to get to meet everybody that came in here this evening, if it's not tonight or if it's at the restaurant, but thank you all for joining. Okay, this is my favorite one. So between the 1880s and 1920s, this is when a lot of the immigrants brought their different foods and recipes and cooking traditions to America. So this is how you have your Italian pasta nights and your Jewish bagels and your Chinese noodles. And tonight, we are going to highlight German pretzels. And I think there's a few Germans in here, possibly. Just trying to get some brownie points. So a little fun fact about this era. So by 1900s, New York City alone had 25,000 restaurants that were ran by immigrants, which introduced their native cuisines to America for the first time. And I thought that was really interesting. So a good majority of the food that you ate was from other countries. So in this map right here is really interesting. So it shows the population in 1890 of the different states broke down by the countries that were in the states, which is really interesting if you're able to see it. North Carolina, so Great Britain is your pink, a good majority of North Carolina is Great Britain. Ireland is your green right here. Denmark, so that dark is Denmark. So it almost looks like Great Britain and Germany. That's Germany.
I was thinking Scotland.
Canada, and then the white is just other countries. So this next bite, the American, so 1920s to 1960s. I did not know about this mock apple pie until Kylee was telling me about it. And so, of course, I had to test it out and make it. So during the Great Depression, people couldn't afford apples. They couldn't resource apples. So what's the best alternative? Ritz crackers, sugar, water, lemon juice, and cinnamon. And when I was testing this out and making them, I couldn't believe. I almost want to make my apple pies this way going forward. It's very interesting. There's no apples in this. There's no apples in this. It is a mock apple pie. So the texture is it from Ritz crackers. Yeah. So you just put the Ritz crackers in as you're cooking it down to give it the same texture. Yeah. And fun fact.
She said her mom and her used to make these all the time.
Did you? Yeah, it's so delicious. Yeah, it's great. But it was printed, so this recipe was printed during the Depression. It was printed on the back of a Ritz cracker box. So I'm closing out the food portion of the evening with the modern plate. So that's 1960s to today. And we're ending with a true American classic. Few things bring people together like gathering around the grill for a hot dog or a family cookout, ball game, or summer celebration. And for tonight's final tasting, I gave a traditional hot dog a twist, and I created a hot dog egg roll. So just a fun, unexpected take on a familiar comfort food.
What's the sauce?
So the sauce is all your condiments. So your ketchup, your mayonnaise, your mustard, a little Tabasco. So I just learned this fun fact. This is kind of disturbing. Americans consume approximately 20 billion hot dogs every year. So that's broken down to 70 hot dogs per person. Yeah. So thank you all for giving me the opportunity to cook and for you to have a tasting. But tonight wouldn't have happened without the powerhouse behind this. She's got a whole team, but the idea came from Kylee. And she is going to lead us this evening in a cheers because I think she is the most deserving to do that. And Kylee, fun facts, since we're on fun facts tonight, Kylee is a powerhouse in the kitchen as well. So before taking the leap, which I love, running restaurants great because I get to meet so many individuals. They're either, providing for their children at home or just they need a summer job. And I get to meet so many people. And I met Kylee when I was having one of the hardest times in the kitchen, and she helped me one summer run that kitchen. So before she left me, which I'm glad she did because spread your wings and fly, she became a good friend. So I'm very happy that she invited me to do this evening.
So thank you guys for the quick run of 250 years. That was a speed run, but it was wonderful. And so what was the favorite? Mine was the mock apple pie. That was good. And there were no apples, right?
No apples.
Just Ritz crackers. And another fun fact, I was hearing Nicolle speak on it, but to this day, some of the Ritz crackers boxes at Pingles will have around this time the mock apple pie recipe. So be on the lookout for that. But again, thank you guys for all coming out this afternoon and spending time with us here at Social House. We have many more planned in the future. So I hope you guys will join us for those as well. The next one is the Explorer's Guide. That one is going to be August 6th. So we will have a local, Jacob Myers. He is a mountain adventurer. He is an author. He just put out a book this year. He is local. He grew up here, and so he will be joining us August to walk you guys through how you guys can go out and hike all the local trails that the plateau has to offer. And with that, let's raise a glass to Social House, Nicolle Fogarty, and 250 years at the American table.